Welcome to this wonderful program, your program, my program, our program, Legend Life and Times. A program we talk about, the show we talk about various people in and around the country. They that have made marks in their various fields, various professions, and various tribes. Yes, this is Legend Life and Times, and with me, with you, this is Francis Okole, your pilot, your coach, your captain, your sailor. I take you on this ride, on this wonderful ride. Yes, where are we going to today? Today, this journey is going to be very wonderful because we are landing at Ikorodu. Ikorodu is an outskirt of Lagos. Ikorodu, very popular, that has produced so many notable people in the country. And who are we talking about today? Today we are talking about no other person than Bernard Olabinjo Benson. To some of us, the Indomie age, we will not even know such a name. It doesn't ring a bell. But it will ring now when I tell you that we are talking about Bobby Benson. If you marry taxi driver, I don't care. If you marry trailer driver, I don't care. If you marry, you remember, that is the taxi driver crooner. Bobby Benson, an entertainer and a musician. See, there is a difference between a musician and an entertainer. Then you can't, they don't waste money. That is when we go to, they go to nightclubs. Nightclub is being patronized, and you must be able to entertain your audience. A nightclub that go, that's why it is called nightclub. So to become a musician that plays music for 3 minutes is not just the thing. You must be able to be an entertainer. So Bobby Benson was not left out, an entertainer and a musician who had considerable influence in the Nigerian music scene. Introduced the big bands, Caribbean idioms to the high lifestyle of popular music, popular African and West African music. This is Bobby Benson. I will tell you, Ikorodu, some indigenous in Ikorodu cannot even remember that, there was a legend in Ikorodu. But let's go to the memory lane. I will take you into the memory lane and you will know who we are talking about. You remember. Yes, Bernard Olabinjo Benson was born on the 11th April 1921 in Ikorodu, Lagos State, into an Agrico. You see, that is where you know the family now. The T.O.S. Benson. T.O.S. Benson, the popular T.O.S. Benson in Ikorodu, is or was the senior brother of Bobby Benson. Is it ringing a bell? The T.O.S. Benson, the popular Ikorodu politician. While in secondary school, he also learned tailoring. Bobby Benson learned tailoring, but after leaving school, he became a boxer. Briefly a boxer then. You can see how he went from boxing. He became a merchant navy, traveling from one country to the other. And it was when he got to the European, when he was touring, and he just left. He left traveling, and he became a musician. He started by learning so many songs, and it was then he met his one. He married Cassandra, half Scottish and half Caribbean in origin, while in Britain. And he returned with the lady in 1947, and they established Bobby Benson and Cassandra theatrical party. Cassandra used to dance, a very good entertainer. I told you, you must be into the music, just like the likes of Fela. You know Fela, most of the women that he married, you know that he married 27 wives in a day. Those were dancers that were clamoring around him. You know, entertainment has a lot of things. You play, you dance, and you know, people come and watch you and enjoy you. So the likes of Baby Benson then were into that business. Benson was an entertainer and a comedian too. He was into comedy as well as a singer and a great performer. In NTA, remember the Bobby Benson show. Is it ringing a bell? Yes, that is the same person we are talking about. The Bobby Benson show. He was entertaining and he did a little bit of magic in the show. There, in the 1970s, those of us that still remembered the 70s, it was Bobby Benson, the Bobby Benson show on NTA, a comedian, and he became a friend of B.B. King and Hugh Masekela. Benson established Caban Baboon. Caban Baboon was a place, where the adults hang out, just like the nightclub, but it's called the Caban Baboon. And Caban Baboon later metamorphosed into, it became a big place, and they called it Hotel Bobby. Hotel Bobby. Those of us that know the story around Onikman, Pangrove, between that place, but it's just a pity that that place is no more. After his death, hoodlums began to gather there, and the state government now said no, they have to just make it worthwhile. And LASEMA, the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, took over the place, and the place have taken a new shape. They acquired the Hotel Bobby, they demolished it, and they used it as a LASEMA point, very briefly, because then, since the death of Bobby Benson, nobody came there, nobody attended to it, so it was hoodlums and the miscreants. They took the place as a hiding venue. I know it is not Pale, because that's the heart of Lagos, between that Pangrove and Fade Onikwan. That is where Hotel Bobby was situated. And then when it was, you remember, he began to release the song. He released this one that became popular that I sang, Taxi Driver. If you marry Taxi Driver, I don't care. That is the Taxi Driver music really went around. It's the biggest hit, and Niger, Mambo, and African melody with Latin beats were covered with different interpretations by American artists such as Stanley Torrentin and Jackie McLean. Randy Weston covered Niger Bamboo in a solo performance in his 1978 album Rhythm Sound Piano, describing the place as representing exactly what is called high lifestyle in West Africa. You see, the thing, it really went. His kind of music really went. Bobby Benson started playing standard big band music, but later introduced African themes. You see, when we were coming, that's where we are coming from. The Caribbean, the Calypso, the Salsas, and that, you don't forget that he came from a foreign land. He learnt it there, infused the African content there, and there you are, Bobby Benson. So I told you the performance where he played guitar and saxophone. Bobby Benson played guitar and saxophone while his wife danced. Based on the popularity of his music, he formed the Bobby Benson Band Session, a dance band that played swing, live sambas, and calypso in the 1950s. He expanded his band to 11 members, including a trumpet section, and began playing a popular. I will tell you, Bobby Benson trained so many. I will let you know now. So many wonderful musicians came out from his band, and I will tell you, the popular Victor Waifo came out from his band. The popular Bayo Martins came out from his band. Actually, playing in Benson's band, including Roy Chicago played in his band, became a popular person. Sir Victor Waifo played in his band. Bayo Martins and Zilonya also played in his band. And it was then that Victor Waifo started his own musical style and formed it, and he started forming. Eddie Okonta too, one popular, actually came out from Bobby Benson, but I told you he's a pioneer of music in Nigeria. If you talk of music, pioneers of music in Nigeria, and actually brought about musicians, that wonderful highlight musicians. I don't mention Bobby Benson. I don't think you've mentioned music in Nigeria. I told you Bobby Benson, the highest, the one that even made him popular, was a taxi driver. The taxi driver with his Cassandra, I told you, but he didn't just marry one wife. But he didn't marry one wife. Benson was an entertainer and comedian, I told you, and I told you that he had several wives and 10 children. Several wives and 10 children. And Benson started by playing standard big band music and introduced African themes. And his songs are Gentleman Bobby, Ìyàwó he infused the Yoruba, the Pidgin, and the English there, Nylon Dress, and Niger Mambo. Benson actually knew almost every instrument. He knew how to play almost every instrument. He was there, he was standard. He was a commander of entertainment, not just a singer, not just an musician. He's an entertainer that will carry you along, because you need to work for the money, because so many people paid for the nightclub. Benson Olabinjo Bernard Olabinjo Benson, known as Bobby Benson, is the person we are talking about today, the legend we are discussing today. Don't forget that this program wouldn't be possible if Nokpa didn't come to our rescue. Nokpa is there. Nokpa says, go ahead. But if you think you can sponsor this program, you have one or two things that you think we can talk about, we can advertise for you on this program. You can bring it. See the numbers there you call on Legend Life and Times. Yes, this is Legend Life and Times, sponsored by Nokpa Herbal Products, Nokpa Herbal Tonic, Nokpa Mixture, and Nokpa Bitters. Let us go for a short break. Let us go and drink water. Let us take one or two things, because we are still coming back for this is what we sell in Nokpa.
Sweetheart. I can't afford to be late for this meeting.
You gave me the same excuse every day.
I always tell you the truth every. You know I will never disappoint you.
Everyone needs a hero like Nokpa.
After Nokpa,
It is always Nokpa.
Nokpa for management of power.
Welcome back to Legend Life and Times with Francis Okole, where we discuss legends across the country. Where are we? We are in Ikorodu. We travel to Ikorodu in Lagos State, and we are talking about one popular musician there, son of the soil, Bernard Olabinjo Benson, known as Bobby Benson. Bobby Benson, did you know brother of Tos Benson, T-O-S Benson? You know, when you talk of Ikorodu, I talk of the Bensons. They are not new. It's not a new name, because we told you that Bobby Benson was born on the 11th April in 1922 in Ikorodu, Lagos State, Nigeria, and he's a musician, an instrumentalist, the saxophone, the guitar, the piano. He's a commander in those. And I told you, he formed a popular dance group, and he married one beautiful lady that actually went back during the time, because she was a dancer, Bobby and Cassandra. Cassandra didn't stay long. Told you, Bobby Benson married several wives and had 10 children. Bobby Benson had a nightclub, and later turned into a hotel called Hotel Bobby along Fade Ikorodu Road on Ikorodu Road. Those of you that are conversant, but it is no more. It has been demolished, acquired by the Lagos State government, demolished, and the Lasema are in place there. I told you that Bobby Benson actually trained so many notable musicians, Victor Waifu, Jim Lawson, Eddie, all those people that actually played high life, that high life was invoked then. Their performances include serious music where he played guitar and saxophone while his wife danced. I told you that. Benson was an entertainer, a comedian. I told you. Bobby Benson started by playing standard big band music, but later introduced the African themes. His prominent musicians started out playing in Benson's band, including Roy Chicago, Sir Victor Waifu, Bayo Martin, Zilonya, Victor Laya started as a trumpeter with Bobby Benson's band. That is it. You can only hear this one in Legend Life and Times. Victor Waifu actually started as a trumpeter in the band, in Bobby Benson's band, and who moved into high life. Eddie Okunta with his Lido band. Benson's innovation in music style also influenced the evolution of popular juju music. It was when they were blending the Caribbean, blending the Latin, blending the European trend, and they started blending the African fusion, and they blended and became high life. Benson also had made musical collaboration with the international acclaimed and musical legend Eddie Grant, who stayed in Lagos and performed at the Hotel Bobby for many years. His collaboration lasted for many years, allowing Grant to be able to acclimate himself to the Nigerian culture. Consequently, Grant was able to speak and record many successful songs, albums in Yoruba and Pidgin. A popular musician, Eddie Grant, actually came around and stayed in the Hotel Bobby. Bobby played. I told you, not only being a musician, but an entertainer. It's not enough to become a musician. You see, it's not just these days that a musician will just play for 5-10 minutes and he's you play all the night, because people have paid to come and watch, to come and drink, to come and enjoy themselves and dance. So you must be able to entertain your audience while playing for them. So those were the days of Bobby Benson. I told you, Bobby Benson and Ikorodu Band played so many instruments, because that is why you see that the likes of his protege, the Waifu, the educator, all also took after him, and they were able to sound entertainers. And I told you, Bobby Benson, something happened, and life is just like that. That is like, what are you doing? What are you living for? What will people say after you? Because you will definitely die. You cannot live on earth forever. Bobby Benson died on the 14th May 1983 at the age of 61 in Lagos, Nigeria. He died after a wonderful life. He left Hotel Bobby, but nobody was able to take over the Hotel Bobby. He had proteges, he had Waifu, Eddie Okunta, Jim Long, so many of them that took after the real Afro-fuse, the real high life, and they really stood the test of time. This has been Bobby Benson, that the junior brother of T.O.S. Benson, between 1917 and 2008, a very successful politician. We told us that when he was in secondary school, he actually started learning tailoring, but became a bursar and later a merchant navy. That was how he was able to travel abroad and met Cassandra. That he came back to Nigeria and formed the Bobby and Cassandra band that later was turned into, and he had a nightclub. From the nightclub, he turned to a hotel, and that has been Bobby Benson. This has been Legend Life and Times. I want to disembark now because we have gone into Ikorodu, and who knows where we may go to again. When we come back, we are stopping here because I want people to take their food, take water, take nokwa, and refresh themselves so that they can get ready, get stronger, get refreshed for another journey. This has been Legend Life and Times with Francis Okoli. Till I come your way again, relax, enjoy yourself, because the journey still continues. Bye-bye.